Hi, my name is Joey Lee, and this is my first video blog regarding the facts of life into my world of having borderline personality disorder. Now, I just want everyone here to know that before I get into everything, that I would like to say that borderline personality disorder is not a death sentence as most doctors make it sound. It is a long, wild recovery, and you have a lot of ups and downs. But to sit here and say that it can't be done or you can't do it or it's not going to happen is plain bullshit because anyone can fight. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder back in May 2011. When I first found out, I fell apart because it just seemed like everything was all coming in and crashing in at one time in my little world that should have been at ease and it should have been okay and I should have had nothing to worry about. Little did I know that there was so much more behind it to come. I am a sick individual to begin with. I have a blood pressure problem. I have chronic asthma. I have allergies. I have trigeminal neuralgia. I have chronic TMJ. So I am not your average 24-year-old, which makes things a lot more difficult than they may seem. I look at everyone else my age and wonder what they did right that I did wrong. But you know what? We could play the wondering game all day long if we really wanted to. But the wondering game isn't going to give you, me, or anyone else any answers. So, here's how my story goes. When I found out I had borderline personality disorder, I crawled into my own little world. I basically didn't want to be bothered and was basically captive in my own brain. I was depressed, I was crying, I didn't want to eat, I barely slept, I was like a night owl. I would sleep during the day and I would be up all night. Every time I felt the slightest ounce of pain, I turned to pain pills. I was abusing my pain pills just not to feel the pain because I wasn't on the right medication to medicate for my disorder. Then it just so happened on July 23rd, it was my sister's birthday, and no one happened to be around, and I just couldn't take the pain anymore, period. I dumped out my bag full of pills that I've been taking almost all of my life for many different reasons, and just decided to mix and match and pop pills. And before I knew it, I woke up in a hospital on a stretcher and felt horrible and like someone had beat the crap out of me until everyone told me that I almost died. If my parents hadn't found me within 5 minutes that they came home, I would have gone into cardiac arrest and I would have been dead. I was very lucky. But at the same time, I was very angry. I was very angry that I was still alive. I was very angry that I didn't die. And I was very angry because to me, it felt like, why should I still be here? I tried my darn hardest to get out of all of this and not to feel any more pain and not to deal with anything. And instead, I'm here. Like, I'm back here and dealing with this. And I didn't want to deal with it. And I was more angry because it's like, you gave birth to me. So I was mad at my parents because you gave it to me. It's a disorder that comes from stress, but it's a disorder that comes from heredity and genetics and things like that. And to me, it's like, I have 3 other siblings. None of them are sick with what I have. And I was angry, and it was like, why them and not me? I mean, like, really, why me and not them? But you know what? I wouldn't wish sickness or illness on anybody. So I can't really factor in and say that that's my most biggest issue because it's not. My most biggest issue is the fact that I can't believe that something like this could just happen and everyone expects you to just be okay. Like, I'm not okay. I'm in pain. I cry. I hurt very easily. I hate when people say certain things to me. I feel like certain people put me down. I feel like my life falls apart on occasion. I feel like I sometimes don't have control over anything. I feel a lot of things. And a lot of things make me feel like I'm not special or I'm not good enough or I don't measure up. I have a sister who's a college graduate who's in school for her master's. I was 6 months shy away from a degree that I can't even get now because I'm too sick to focus on school. I used to work and manage doctor's offices and make thousands, and I can't do that either because it's too much pressure on my back right now. Everything is just too much pressure for me, and it's just unfair because it's like I had to give up a part of who I was, and no one understands what that feels like. You could never understand what it's like to have to hand over a part of you or stop being a part of who you were just because you don't have it in you anymore. And I don't have it in me anymore. I don't have it in me to sit there and say, you know, you go do this or you file that, and that hurts. It hurts to know that I'm falling apart. It hurts to know that all this started when I was 18 years old. So I hope you have time and you want to listen because the story gets much more interesting. When I was 18 years old, I thought I had the best boyfriend in the entire world. Okay? His name was Nick. Not so much. I had gotten pregnant with a little girl whom I have lost, and I almost lost my mom. I kept it a secret and kept it to myself for years until I just couldn't keep it in anymore, and I had to deal with it. Until this day, I still feel guilty, and I wonder what I did wrong and why it happened. Then we move on to the fact that I had an aunt who was very special to me and literally like my best friend, whom I would tell everything to and go to with all my problems and just hang out with her because we just had this crazy sick bond. And she got really sick, and I watched her in the hospital as she just withered away and she died. And that killed me. And then I had another aunt who was pretty much old enough to be my grandmother. I know, as funny as that sounds, she was my mother's sister and she was in her 90s. She lived till the ripe old age of 96. And I lost her. So in a matter of 9 months, I lost my boyfriend, my baby, my godmother, and my aunt. Now, on a track record on a scale of 1 to 10, I thought I was holding it together pretty well until one day the pain just came out, and the pain, profuse amounts of pain in my head, in my brain, in my body, in my every being. I knew something was wrong with me. I wasn't okay anymore. And then it became a battle with my mother, fighting all the time. And I was yelling and screaming and saying horrible things and telling her that she didn't understand and that she couldn't always be right all the time. Things got so bad because nobody knew what was wrong with me. I literally pushed my own mother out of her house. She couldn't live with me. Like, at the end of the day, do you know what that feels like to know that your own mother just feels like she can't handle you, so she has to leave? It hurts. It hurts a lot. But the truth of the matter is here's how it goes. After I had been diagnosed, like I explained to you on what I did on July 23rd, I spent a full week in a psychiatric facility with people who were exactly like me, which not only made me feel happy, but I was scared, but it also made me feel normal because I wasn't the only one out there who was sick and who was sick with what I had. It's amazingly funny to sit here and say that everyone should take a trip to the psych ward because I don't believe that's true. But the grass is greener on both sides, on the outside and on the inside. Because on the inside, it's safe. And there are people like you, and you don't feel crappy, and you don't feel down, and you don't think you have to be anything but yourself. And then when you come back out, you have to struggle and fight to be the person that you used to be, or struggle and fight so that everyone thinks you're okay, or that nobody has to worry. I want you guys to comment on this as much as you want. I want you guys to tell me whatever you want as much as you want. I will be more than happy to give you updates, and I'm going to be giving you updates on a daily basis. I just want you guys to know that none of you, not one person, whether it be a borderline personality or a bipolar or depression or schizophrenia, none of you are alone. I have bits and pieces of each symptom, and I would talk to you and listen to you and be there for you and answer any questions that you might have, because that's just the type of person that I am. And I would never leave it up to chance to say, I don't want to help you, because that's not me. Because I know what it was like when I was looking for help and there was no one there to help me. So I want to help. So comment on the video, ask questions, tell me what you think, let me know what goes on in your head, let me know if you have any sort of similarities, let me know if you get days like mine. Just be honest. This is a free place where you can just tell it all and tell it like it is and not be judged. Because I don't judge. I listen and I answer if you ask. If you just want me to listen and read, I will just listen. I am not judgmental. Everyone has their own issues, everyone has their own problems, and everyone can even have their own agenda. But I will not judge someone or make them feel uncomfortable, because I know how many people made me feel uncomfortable. I lost half of my friends because they couldn't deal with the fact that I had an illness, even with trying to explain to them exactly what that illness was, and the fact that even though there was a cure, I was going to be a certain way and I was going to be a different person from then on out, and they had a problem with that. So I hope to hear from everyone really soon, and I hope I can help you guys. Joey Lee is officially signing out, guys. I will see you when I make my next video vlog. Bye.